my name is Filip Drimalka. I am from the Czech Republic. I founded 2 startups, Digiskills and Ability. I also run many programs for AI ambassadors and coaches, for leaders. And basically, this is for me the best opportunity to learn, because during these cohorts, I really see how people use technology, how people use AI, and where they struggle. And basically, the sharing is super important, everywhere. So to share how I use AI, what problems I have, and how can I use it, this is one of the best ways how to learn nowadays. Just to give you an example what we do, so one of the projects I'm really proud of is a project we've done for Skoda Auto, which is part of the Volkswagen brand. They asked us to help them with the adoption of Microsoft 365. And we did it in a form of digital academy, so a training program. And they wanted to have this training program for each department. So we ran 370 projects at once. And it was fully managed just by one of our colleagues, actually 0.3 FTE. Because we have everything fully automated and we use AI in all of our processes. Another project I'm really proud of is called AI Hackathon. So AI Hackathon is an event where we meet with a group of people and we spend 4, 8, 12, 24 hours working on projects. And one of the projects we work on, or people from our customers' business, was a system for evaluating of customers' feedback. So basically, every feedback from a customer, every email, every conversation that customer claimed his satisfaction was analyzed by AI. And when the client was happy, the system created personalized response. When the client was not happy, they forwarded the question or the message to appropriate person in the bank. So it was a bank. They were able to build such system in a day without IT. And this is, I think, one of the biggest impacts we will see. That people like you and me, I'm not an IT, I study law, so I'm a lawyer, but I never practice. But people who are creative and who are eager to learn will suddenly have opportunity to build systems that will help them in their work. I wrote a book about it. It's called The Future of No Work. I have just one copy here because I travel a lot, so I have just one copy. The book is not that we will not have work. Actually, the whole no work concept is about doing stuff that we enjoy. Time flies, we learn, suddenly in like 2 hours pass. And also stuff that AI does on our behalf. But I believe the most important is the third point. Because nowadays you see so many ads that AI will save you 10, 20 hours per week. No way. The technology is so amazing that it creates so many opportunities that you actually work more. You actually work much more, but it's the no work at its best because you enjoy that. It's just play with information. I think we will see 2 extremes in the future. So on the one hand, we see that there will be small teams creating amazing value. One-person businesses generating dozens or hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe billions, as some Altman predicts. On the other hand, of course, some professions, some departments will be replaced. So there will be just 10, 15, 20, 30% people working in those professions. But I think that in the next 2 to 3 or maybe 3 to 5 years, the biggest impact on AI will be that we will do much better work. Because this is, for me, more important than make it easier or work faster, to make it better. So I believe that, yes, AI will take our jobs, but to the next level. I don't want to talk about technologies and apps too much, but what we need to realize is that there is an app and AI for everything. So this trademark, there's an app for that, was registered by Apple in 2009. 2009, this is 15 years ago, and there was an app for everything. Nowadays, there is an AI for everything. So when you go to there's an AI for that, there's so many different apps for everything. You like podcasts? So just type podcast, and so many apps, summaries from podcasts, creating mind maps from a podcast, using AI for creating podcasts. There are almost 30,000 apps with AI. And this number is quite old. It's like 1 month old. So I believe they currently reached 30,000. 30,000 apps with AI. But it's not only those consumer apps we can use. On Hugging Face, which is platforms where you can find AI models and different data sets, can you guess how many AI models, like GPT, Gemini, Claude, there is? Can you guess any number? Thousands? Yes. More than 1 million. And Hugging Face expects that there will be almost 2 million models. Some of the models are small, so I have an app with a model that is so small that I can run it during the flight without connection to the internet. So many models are open source, so you can take them and do whatever you want to them. You can mix them, you can merge them. So it's not about the technology anymore. Because if you want to use the best AI possible, you can just go to App Store or Google Play and have it on your cell phone in 2 minutes. The best AI in the world. So the question is, what are we going to do with it? When we ask people why they still need to work and why they are not using AI as they could, so the biggest barrier is knowledge. People respond, we don't know how to, where to start, how to prompt, how to implement it in our processes, how to automate, how to use agents everywhere. So where is it? How can I use that? And another interesting insight from one of our surveys is that the finances were among the, people said that it's not a problem with finance. The problem is knowledge, which is actually a good news, because when something is connected to knowledge, it means we can learn that. When we repeated this survey, after 1 year, I saw that the number of people that responded that they still don't know how to decreased just by 3%. So I think that the opportunity is huge, the technology is here, but we really need to find time to learn how to work with it. This is exactly what Moni said. The survey that I just showed you, it was one of the best examples how the future of work or no work will look like. Because nowadays it's the biggest survey on how organizations use generative AI in the Czech Republic. And it all started when I received an email from Harvard Business Review. And they said, okay, so we are organizing this survey, how organizations use Gen AI, and we want you to be part of it. And I said, okay, so I want to do the same in the Czech Republic. So what I did, I copied and pasted the email to ChatGPT, and I asked it to come up with the name, description. I just copy-paste, right? So it's not just the golden age of creativity, but also golden age of copycats. And then ChatGPT came up with impact name. I loved it, so I decided to go for it. Then I went to a tool that creates a survey from a single prompt, from a single instruction to AI. And I just copied this sentence, that I want to create a survey for research to understand how organizations are thinking about AI. In 5 seconds, I had the whole questionnaire. So I just changed a couple of things. I sent it to a couple of our clients, got a feedback, and then I needed to build a website. So I went to another tool, and I used one single prompt to build a website. So they built it in English, so I said, okay, so another prompt, do it in Czech, use more colors. It took me 4 prompts to build a website. And then, of course, we collected almost the data from almost 700 organizations, so I needed to analyze it. So I used AI, of course. I talked to ChatGPT. Be careful when you want to analyze the data. You need to use the feature called code interpreter or analyze. That means that it programs the analysis. It's not using the large language model, actually. It's just you see how it's programming the analysis. And you also need to always double check the numbers. So I double checked the numbers. I had it prepared the slides for the media. And since we have also AI in the spreadsheets, in Google Sheets and in Microsoft Excel, I analyzed all the responses. So basically, you use it as ChatGPT or my favorite Claude. You type this prompt as a formula, and when it works, you just copy paste it. And you can copy paste it to 100 or 1,000 columns. Isn't that amazing that we have AI in our spreadsheets? And I saw a teacher who built an app for learning English for her students in spreadsheet with AI. The whole survey, the whole project, from the initial idea to the final execution to the presentation of the results, took me 4.5 man-hours. So I was just giving instructions to AI, and AI was performing, was executing what I asked it to do. And this is where I realized that this is how the future of work will look like. You will talk to AI, and you will still be the one who will be giving orders, at least for the next couple of years. But you can do amazing things, even if you are just a company of one or just a single person. I believe that AI enables us to create amazing experiments and value and fast iterations, because you never start from scratch. You never start with a blank page. You start with a version 0.9, and then you iterate and make it better and better and better. This makes you faster, but it also helps you to do better work. So the top 3 use cases after 1 year, this was 1 year ago, which is nowadays is like century, right? So it was in the past, and then fast forward to today. I think that there are 3 big, I think the most important use cases where we all should use AI nowadays. The first one is first things first. So sometimes people want to use AI for stuff that basically doesn't matter, it's not important. So I always say, focus on the stuff that you do every day, 20 times per day. That is the most important. The second is that we are all programmers nowadays. And then I believe that the thinking as we know it has ended. And I'll give you a couple of examples. So I think that the key for using AI is to basically achieve a symbiosis with AI. That's why I try to use AI a lot. So this is a screenshot from my Claude.ai, which is, I think, the best AI chatbot nowadays. For me, it has better personality than ChatGPT. You can see that I use it more than 2,600 times for the previous couple of months. So basically, I'm using it like 30, 40 times per day. And I always try to build those assistants in Claude that help me with the stuff that I do often. So basically, I'm really active on LinkedIn. So I have a LinkedIn comments and post assistant where I just give it an idea, and it creates the post in my tone of voice. You can just upload a couple of your LinkedIn posts and say, analyze those, and create similar posts. I have an email generator. So I just dictate idea, and then it creates an email. When I wanted to find a video photographer for today, I had this idea like 3 hours ago. So first I copy and pasted the flyer of this event, and I said, create an email asking, describe the location and time and everything. So in one single sentence, I was able to get in touch with Jamie, and we managed this. It took me like 2 minutes. Then you always need to when you work on any project, you can use it at the beginning. So once I went from my city to see my client, and my colleagues were struggling when creating partnership program. So I said, okay, so I have 20 minutes. What can I do in 20 minutes? So I opened up ChatGPT on my cell phone. Nowadays you can use the advanced voice mode, so you can talk to it. And I was having a conversation. So what should this partnership program contain? And then ChatGPT came up with a couple of things, like we need to talk about the concept, the commission system, the website. And then at the end of this discussion, I asked it to create assignment for each of this item. And then when I came back home, I didn't send this assignment to my colleagues. I put it to Claude, to AI. And we created the whole partnership program in 2 hours. And for example, when I sent the contract to our lawyer, she sent it back with 2 minor tweaks. So you can build the whole project from scratch in a couple of hours because you can use AI as a brainstorming assistant. And the best part is, when I asked Claude, how much does it cost? And I asked it a couple of months ago, it calculated that each of these conversations cost me $0.1. So the whole partnership program, concept, the provision commission system, website, everything, cost me 2 hours and $0.1. The question is, what are we going to do if the price of intelligence drops almost to zero? This is amazing because everybody can do that. I think that sometimes people want too much from AI. They want it to do the whole work. I have a short video. This is exactly how my work with AI looks like. So I dictate a lot. I give it my ideas and thoughts. I copy-paste a lot. So I just switched in between my apps like Keynote, PowerPoint, and AI. And this is 40 minutes of my work when I built the whole project for one large insurance company. Made it in 40 seconds. And this is exactly the symbiosis with AI, that you use it as extension of your brain. You dictate, you copy-paste, you just play with it. The second most important use case is that I believe that we are all programmers. And I realized it when I was invited to an event, and they sent me the program. It was 3 days event for people from the technology scene from the Czech Republic. And they sent me the schedule, the agenda that looked like this. I like Excel, but this is too much. So what I did, I uploaded the spreadsheet to Claude. And I asked it, could you code a mobile version of this program? I want to have a full text search and then filter by day and stage. And then it started to code, and it did not work. So what I did, I just said, it doesn't work. Then it came up with some error message. So I just copied the error message and put it back. And then it did not work. So for the third time, I said, it still does not work. This button does not work. And then it started working. So 4 prompts, and I had a mobile app that you can use directly in your browser. When my daughter, she was now, she was here, sitting here, giving you the badges. She said, I need to count people. So I asked Claude, can you create a counter of people? Just put plus and minus and the number of people. And then, in a couple of seconds, Claude programmed it. So I believe that we already live in a time with just-in-time software. When you need automation, when you need some small apps, small snippet, you can just dictate what you want, and AI does that for you. Again, anyone can do it because you talk to AI with your own natural language. And also, this will have big impact on technology companies. This is what one of our partners sent me, that his client was basically, they were paying $2,000 for a service that was evaluating customer messages. And then they programmed it, they just connected it to OpenAI, and the very same service was done in 2 hours. So again, extension of your brain, but also it's like you have an army of programmers. At this moment, just for basic stuff, but still, we have just, what we experience now, what we use is the stupidest version of AI in our lives. So I believe that in the future, you will be able to program even complex apps. And then the thinking as we know it ended. This might bring some troubles because people who are used to work with AI a lot, when they don't have it, they are in trouble, especially young people. And there are some studies already that stated that if people use it during the age like 16 to 20, when they are 16 to 20 years old, and they are without AI, they cannot formulate ideas, they cannot think properly. But I realized that we cannot compete with AI anymore. And the best example was, it's an amazing story. One of the most important aha moments, eye-opening moments I had. My colleagues were working on a project called Digital AI Opportunities. And it's a project where our consultants sat with our clients and they talk to them about what they do, how they work, what holds them back, why it takes so long. And we wanted to replace the initial meeting with AI. So we built an AI consultant called Amy. And Amy is amazing, but she struggled with asking the right questions. Because if someone asks or tells you, so I struggled, I needed to create a presentation for my boss. What does it mean? Is it a presentation that you do every single week? Is it a presentation with internal data, or you just need to do the research? So we needed to find the way how to instruct Amy to ask follow-up questions. And my colleagues had brainstorming about it. And I came to visit them. And I asked them, what are you doing? They said, okay, so we are working on this project. And they were discussing that for 2 hours. And they had hundreds of post-its on the walls. And I said, why don't you ask AI? So what we did, we uploaded all the conversations from one of our clients to Notebook LM. Notebook LM is AI tool from Google. It's amazing. It's for free, and it's amazing because you can upload so many documents and YouTube videos, and it's really smart. And I asked how we can ask better questions. And it took like 20 seconds to analyze 500 pages of conversations. So it came up with brilliant ideas. So instead of when a user mentions preparing presentations, Amy could ask, could you walk me through the typical presentation process? And it was, I don't know if fortunately or unfortunately, it was much better than the outcomes from my colleagues. So then we needed to edit the system prompt of Amy. And do you know how we did it? We uploaded this. We uploaded the initial prompt and said, improve the prompt. So again, I think really that the thinking as we ended, and we will use AI as extended brain that will think on our behalf or together with us. I'm using that a lot. I'm using that for example, I'm talking to a client, and then I upload the transcript of the call. So when a client asks me, can you, update the presentation somehow? We talk about how to update it, and then I don't do the work myself. I just upload the presentation and the transcript of our discussion. Or last week, I did an experiment. I uploaded transcript from all of our company meetings. And I said, how could we improve our meetings, our operations? And the results are amazing. And then I asked it, okay, now prepare a plan, improvement plan for each member of our team. So basically it took me, again, 5, 6 prompts. And then one, maybe even more important use case, which is not number 4, I think it is number 1. AI is one of the best tutors we can have. So this will impact not only us, but also our kids a lot. There was a study in Nigeria where they used AI for tutoring children. And they found out when they use it, they used GPT-4 as a tutor. After 6 weeks, the children learn more than in 2 years before. Because anyone can have now personal tutor 24/7. Anyone. So you can just give it a simple prompt, and then it can work with your children or with yourself, and it can help you to improve. And there is a story of one of my colleagues who was participated AI hackathon, and it was an AI hackathon organized by European Space Agency. So they wanted to launch an app in the space. And my colleague asked me, I don't know how to code well, so can you give me your paid access to ChatGPT? And I said yes. And then I went through that conversation. ChatGPT proved to be an amazing tutor, super patient, because it was advising for 8 hours. And it always said, okay, great to hear that this is working, and now you can do it this way. You know, some of the questions weren't, okay, but still, they were good questions. They are no stupid question, right? When he uploaded a code, it said, okay, so your code looks good. So the ChatGPT was encouraging all the time. And then they made it. So they made an app that will run for 3 minutes on International Space Station. And this is a true story. The only thing I didn't mention that it was not my colleague, it was my son, who is 12. It was a team of 2 girls, 2 boys. It was a school project. And what I saw is the difference between how we adults use AI and kids. Because sometimes we adults, we overthink. How should I structure this prompt? Right? And kids just talk to AI. So this will be our competitors on the job market in a couple of years. No stress. But again, if you are open, if you are curious, if you want to use it, it's amazing. And all these examples are proof that AI is not about the technology. It's about having new mindset, you know, started to work in and living, coexisting with AI, learning how to work with AI, and also learning how to work the new way. On top of that is leadership. And I don't mean leadership in terms of that you need to run a company or be a manager, but anyone can lead, anyone can learn more, anyone can say, hey guys, why don't we do it different way? So leadership is crucial. Unfortunately, so many managers and leaders of organizations, they have no idea what is AI about because they are not using that. And when they are not using that, they don't feel the sense of urgency. Because only by using AI, you find out what it can do and where are the limitations. And you can find out that you can use it for almost anything. So there are 3 things: mindset, skills, and way of working. And I think that it all starts with the right mindset. First, I think we need to understand where are the opportunities, and there's so many of them, but also where are the threats. So maybe I'm talking a lot. So from your point of view, what are the threats of AI? Data privacy, especially, you know, there are all these shining Chinese models. You know, there are all these, you know, open models where we don't know where they are sending the data to. There are all these models that we don't know if they are learning from our data. So we need to be very careful. And even some of the big players are not too open. So yes. What else? Yes. Hallucinations. Yeah, if we rely on AI, if we don't double check, you know, they are super confident. So they tell you something that looks like the truth, but it's complete hallucination. Yes, absolutely. Biases. Yes, because we don't know what data it was trained of. So yes, biases. What else? Copyright. I think the copyright won't exist because nowadays you can upload my book, you buy it on Amazon for $9.99. You can upload it to AI and say, okay, so I want to create similar book. You know, here are a couple ideas, and do it chapter by chapter. You know, there is I heard there is a special section for AI written books on Amazon, and now they recently limited it that you can publish only 3 books per day. No, but yeah, copyrights, you know, you can just take any information, any text, you can upload it and said, okay, so create a better version. It's done. So I think, again, it leads us back to what is important, like to having brand connection with the customers, distribution, because anyone can copy almost any project, you know, in a couple of weeks or months. So yes, IP. Yes, absolutely. So again, this is why we need to use it to find out where it can help, or where we need to be really aware of the limitations. Absolutely. Yeah. Job losses. Yes, I think there will be people that will have very hard time because nowadays I think we don't see that. So because our organizations are very complex and fragmented. So we don't see that, but with the agentic workflows and so I think this is going to change. And one person with AI can do much more. So basically people will compete with people who are able to use AI a lot. Yes? Imposter syndrome, yes. Some people are afraid to use AI-generated outputs because they feel that it's a fraud. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, we don't need AI for that, right? Yes, it makes it easier because nowadays I can create any article in a matter of seconds. So it's very easy to produce any content and I don't have to use the frontier models. I can use the small models so that nobody controls. Yes, so and I think everything is opportunity and threat at the same time. So for example, I will show you my avatar. We are using my avatar to create videos, training videos, sales videos. But anyone can create a video of me saying very bad things. Or if I would record your voices now, and I don't do that, don't worry. But if I would record your voices, what I could do, I could go to Adobe Podcast, which is a free app where I could clean it to make it sound like from a studio. Then I would go to Play HD and I would create a voice clone of you. And then I would send a message with your voice to your friends or people on LinkedIn. Hey, can you send me $100? It doesn't take, it takes a couple of minutes and I don't need to have any IT skill. So we really need to educate ourselves and not ourselves, our parents and grandparents and kids. Also, our businesses will need to educate their people because it will be, I think the future will be about two parties not fighting, but operating against each other. So there is an interesting app called AI Apply. And what this app does is that you copy a job posting, and then it creates the cover letter, but also it creates a resume. It improves it a little bit so it fits the position. So imagine that the HR department will receive 20, 30 applicants that will look like they were born for that position, right? So they will need to use another AI system, for example, for automated candidate screening. So what this system does is that AI calls, asks a couple of questions. And this is exactly it. So we will be building systems because what is opportunity for job applicants, job seekers, it's a threat for HR. So that's why we need to be aware of those opportunities and threats. And then one thing that is related to mindset is that some people ask me, is there an app that will do this? And then they describe what they do basically. And I said, no, but let's break it down into individual steps because this is where AI can help a lot. And I give you an example. We work with the network of televisions and television stations in Europe. And one of the participants of our AI training asked me, Filip, I do casting for MasterChef and all these reality shows. Is there an app where I just describe who I want to have in the show and then it finds all the people? And I said, no, but let's break it down. So what's the first step you always need to do? And she said, we need to define the keywords like cooking, pasta, and so on, because people present their culinary work online. Then we need to look them up on social media. Then we need to download the profile, extract the contact information, contact them. And when we went step by step, we found out that each of these steps can be automated. It's not that it will be like this, but she will use one app, another one, then she will use ChatGPT. And then when she learned this, what took her 12 hours per week now takes 20 minutes. She still needs to do copy-pasting. Maybe it's worth automating that, but still, it's amazing. So you need to try AI in every single step of your work process. Then we need new skills. And I think in the age of AI, these will be the most important skills of the future. Creativity and imagination, because you will play with AI and it will do the work. then general knowledge, so you can connect the dots, and ability to build systems, no matter if human systems like companies, startups, or digital systems. And of course, this courage, empathy, drive, ability to get things done, basically everything they don't teach us at school. This is what we need. And also, we need to learn how to work with AI. I showed you many examples. So just, I in my book, I use these 3 categories. The first one is knowledge AI, which is basically ChatGPT and Claude, cursor for programming. My programmers, they use AI for programming a lot. Data analysis, basically everything related to knowledge. The second category, generative AI, where you can create and analyze any digital content. So when you go to Suno AI, you can create a song. When you go to Interior AI, you can just take a couple of pictures of your room and select the style, and it acts as interior designer. And then co-pilots and agents, and you will talk about them later today. And this all is connected in your workflows. So one of the examples I use is my avatar. So what you see now is not me. This is my AI avatar. And once we helped one of the biggest Czech banks organize an AI hackathon, I was asked to give an opening keynote. And then they asked me, hey, Filip, could you stay here and do the closing remark and summary of that event? But I needed to leave. So what we did is that we collected takeaways from all those people, and we built a simple automation. And my avatar created a summary. And then when I was like 50 miles away, I received this message: you are on stage. But it perfectly summarized the event. So I have a short example, and I don't know if the voice, because it's streamed from there, so maybe the voice won't be connected, but this is not me. Let's see.
Hi, I am a personal AI avatar capable of speaking any language. I can assist with marketing campaigns for the book The Future of No Work, as I am directly connected to the possibilities offered by current AI tools. There are numerous ways to utilize my capabilities. I can create content for social networks, be featured on the book's webpage, or record interviews. This could also open up exciting opportunities in public relations.
Como dije, puedo grabar videos en cualquier idioma, así que si quieres grabar videos en español、あなたが知っている言語であろうとなかろうと、それは関係ありません。まさにそれが人工知能の最大の利点の一つです。
So he speaks more than 120 languages. Now you can send it to Zoom calls. So you can send it to Zoom calls, and I think this year many people will not recognize that they are talking to AI. Again, it's good news, maybe it's bad news for someone, but this is already happening, and it's the combination that we collect information, AI creates a summary, then it generates the video. It's just play with information, nothing else. And then we need to learn how to work differently, because AI can not only help us to work much faster and do our work easier, but also it can make it better. So when we send a price quote to our client, AI creates a video explaining the price quote. It's not that important, but it creates, it's better service for our clients. And it can help you to scale anything you do and to do much more with much less. Because soon we will all be working with digital workers. You can call them assistants, agents, and so on. It all starts with simple parts of your work. So my colleagues have coding assistants, I have a calendar assistant, and so on. The best part is that you create them using your natural language by describing what you need. And if you are lazy or smart, you can use AI to describe it for you. So you ask it, what should my calendar assistant do for me? And then AI creates an output, and you copy it and use it as a prompt. So you don't have to prompt anymore. If you go to 11 Labs, you can create such assistant with voice. So again, you describe, and then you can give it a call. You can do it today. So again, we need to have these ideas. We need to come up with ideas and experiment with it. how to adopt AI. It's much easier. I believe it's much easier than learning how to work with Microsoft tools. No, sorry, Microsoft. Sorry to Redmond, but I have created a framework, simple framework called Yes. It all starts with inspiration, and go to events such this one. Follow people on social media that talk about not only about like this is recent model, but about practical use. People who really show you how they use AI. Because nowadays there is a mess online, and so many people, they just post like, this is, rest in peace ChatGPT. There is a new model. There's a new kid on the block. No, you need to follow people who really show you how to use AI. Then experiment. There's only one way how to find out how to use AI. Get your hands dirty and try it. Pin it to your browser. Claude, ChatGPT, Notebook LM, and use it. Sometimes use two tools for the very same task to see which one is better. Because models are like people, AI models. They have different skill set. They have different personality. So you need to pick the right one. I always ask myself, how come that organizations and companies, they select suppliers of every small item in selection procedure, but then they pick AI model like this. IT says, we will use Microsoft Copilot or someone to. No, you need to pick one very carefully. And then share. Share what works. Share what does not work. Be curious. And if something does not work, ask why, and find out more. I already said that the role of leaders is crucial. And I think that it's really up to us to use AI and basically find out what it can do for us and how we can use all these opportunities. But I like the description of leadership from IKEA. When I started to work with IKEA back in Europe, I went through their leadership principles. And one of their principles is lead by example. And I love the first sentence. Leadership is an action, not a position. So the most important question is, what action will you take in order to really leverage AI tomorrow? Thank you for your attention.